I had a great experience yesterday. I had a Skype meeting with a client, and this is a client that I've been dealing with for a long time and who spent a lot of money with me. And I have a very good relationship with them, but it's been a little bit strange recently, and I was concerned about that. So in the meeting, the last couple of meetings, but particularly the one yesterday, I decided I was going to change tack, and I was going to try and put myself in the client's position and think as they would, and present them and communicate with them as they would, as I would like to be communicated and presented to, were I the client. Specifically, we're developing programs for them, and normally we would develop the programs, deliver the programs, and build them, whatever. But this time I could feel the pushback. I mentioned there recently about amber lights, orange lights, and feeling the pushback, seeing whether there's a problem and dealing with it. So I've been practicing this, and I could feel the pushback, and I said, okay, how can I do this? How can I design this in a way that's effective for the client? So I did design it in a way, in fact, they will deliver their own programs. We'll basically train the trainers, we'll write the programs, and hand this over to them, empower them to go and do it themselves and build their own competence inside. And the feedback I got from the client was amazing. This is exactly what they want. They didn't know it themselves that they wanted, not we actually said it to them. This is exactly what they wanted. They now see us in a much more positive light. They see us as a partner who's trying to help them, not a partner who's trying to fleece them, and which is what we're about. We're about partnering, about long-term relationships with our clients, but maybe we'd gone a little bit off-centre on this with this particular client. Maybe we sort of forgotten about it, and we got it back on track. So I want you to think of this idea. We talk about win-wins, we all talk about it, but I want you to think about this idea of a win-win. Put yourself in the position of the client or the customer, whatever the relationship is you have, and try and design something that works for them, and then see does it work for you. And my experience has been that it works really, really well. Like really well. This particular client, I think the piece of business will be, as from a margin perspective, and not maybe a volume perspective, but from a margin perspective, will be as good a margin as where we do the work ourselves directly. And from a long-term perspective, even though the volume is smaller, the amount is smaller, it's built a piece of business now will go on for 12 months, and it continues to build a relationship and strengthen the relationship. So we'll have a longer term relationship. There was a supermarket chain here in Ireland run by, I think, a guy called Fergal Quinn, and he always talked about the lifetime value of the customer. And that's the way you need to think about it. Think about the lifetime value of the customer and say, how can you serve the customer now in a win-win situation for sure, but how can you serve the customer's needs now so that you actually have a long life with the customer. So this is my insight. I tried it, it worked. The customer was very, very happy. The client came back and said, it's absolutely what we want. Really pleased with this approach. Got a lovely email from this morning, and thought I'd share it with you. There you go.